I'm Ashton Addison from the Crypto Coin Show, and today on Blockchain Interviews, we have Dr. Rein Wu, founder and CEO of PredX. Rein, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Very excited to dive into AI in blockchain, prediction markets, what the future may look like, and what you and your team have been working on at PredX. I would love to start off our conversation from a high level. For those who aren't familiar with the project, if you could talk a little bit about what is PredX, what have you and your team been building, then we can dive into all the details afterwards.
Yeah, glad to do that. Yeah, so PredX is a generative prediction market ecosystem. So we are trying to build the most engaging and informative prediction market ecosystem in the world. Yeah, so we are actually coming from the angle that AI will actually empower the Web3 technology, especially the generative AI part. So most of the current prediction market, they are actually based on the platform's generated events. It's not actually generated by AI, as it's not community based. So we want to use the AI technology to enable the community members as well as managers to creating their own asset so that they can listing them as a tradable asset in the platform as events. Yeah, so that is actually the general idea. But we also figure out that the current prediction market will lack of two important things. One is the relevancy, and second is the liquidity. In terms of relevancy, that most of the users, they're actually coming to the website but seeing exactly the same screen. The events are the same. So no matter I'm a political interest in the political events, or I'm a kind of like a technical guy who actually looking for some Microsoft, NVIDIA events, or I'm just a person or DJ who want to trade the cryptocurrencies. They're all looking at the same screen, actually all the events the same. So that's one of the big problems. The second thing is that most of the market don't have good liquidity. So which means that when you put the order, either it's hard to find someone to be a counterparty, or there's a bid as a spread between your orders. So that actually makes the liquidity of the market pretty bad, which also actually give people bad customer experience. So we want to have this kind of technical layer to promoting the event inside the community so that the people will find out the most interesting event by using our app or our website. The recommendation is fully automatic, very personalized. We also have the liquidity providing engine, which can injecting the liquidity to different market so that we will not facing a serious liquidity problem. You can think like an AI market maker automatically integrated into our systems. And also we want to motivate everyone to promoting our events. So in that sense, we basically have a very well-designed revenue share tokenomics so that will allows the community managers or the KOLs to creating but also promoting these events, because most parts of the transaction fee generated by our platforms will be shared to the people who creating this event or promoting this event. So in that sense, you can think like everyone will have their own crypto exchange, but at the same time also sharing or have the benefits of receiving huge amount of revenues from our platforms. So our idea is trying to build up the ecosystems to enable individual person and community members have their own prediction market, but we using our AI plus Web3 technology to enable them. So that is what we do.
Very cool, and thank you for that overview, Rein. And I've seen some prediction markets before, but yeah, there definitely have been issues with either irrelevancy or liquidity, which I'd love to dive into a little deeper. But I want to just first of all explain a little bit more about those for those who haven't used prediction markets. You're talking about events. You know, some of the things that come to the top of my head when I think about prediction markets are, for example, predicting who's going to be the president of the United States in the next election. But you can have almost any type of event, right? Like whether it's a sports event or betting on if this coin will be listed on Coinbase or anything else. And I guess that's why there's so many options that it's hard to make it relevant for everybody on the front of the page. Is that correct?
Definitely. There's so many different topics and coverage, and basically you can fit the universe into the prediction market. Yeah.
And now introducing AI into the equation sounds like an amazing way to make it relevant for each person. Can you talk a little bit about the merge of blockchain and AI, finding a suitable use case, and how exactly you can use artificial intelligence to bring more relevancy to the prediction market when a user goes there for the first time?
Yeah, of course. And so from a general perspective, right? So the current prediction market are not defined by the community members. So they are actually generated by the platform's flavors. What do you think, like your majority of the audience coming from? And then basically we actually fit the events towards our kind of the mean, or you can say average, the user standard, right? But the problem is that if using this way, it's really hard to actually creating something that most of people enjoyed. So you really need to have a coupled AI engine from both the generative side, but also the predictive side to let them work together. So you only have the generative parts. It's really hard to actually to recommend this to the right users, right? Everyone see a lot of huge amount of events. But if you only have recommendation side, the problem is that many kind of events, they are very, very kind of diverse and really decentralized. For example, with the Indian elections, as a kind of like a US citizen, you even don't know the names, right? So it's really hard for like an operation company, right? So actually to fit each people's appetite or kind of the personal interest. So you really need to have a decentralized creation capability as well as this kind of decentralized recommendations or like a decentralized topic modeling capability. So that is the two things you really need to have. So AI actually help you creating something, but really the decentralization help people to promoting this inside the community. Yeah. So my personal understanding is that the Web3 is really about the people business, but AI is about automation, right? So you need to like fit these two things well into the new game. Yeah. So the AI actually really targeting about how you can make the events generate more transaction volume from platform perspectives. But for person perspective, is that how you can make them want to put orders. It's kind of like attention monetizations, right? So you need to first catch people attention and then monetize them. So how to keep people attention? That is the thing. Yeah. The next level question is that how you can really make the topic more interesting enough to let people start actually trading it. Some of the topic actually tomorrow, whether New York will rain or not, probably does not matter too much, right? So it's like I feel that people will feel that interesting, but not too much people want to really trade on it or bet on it. So you need to have some conflicts or counterparty underlying on the topic side. So that actually the larger language model can help us to actually make the topic a little bit arguable, or basically figure out like scraping the internet, right? Figure out some of the interesting topics that may kind of causing the conflicts between different forces, and that we can put there as a topic. So the recent like advance of the large language model really helps a lot, I could say, because without them, it's really, really hard to model all these topics, the sentiment. But the thing is that like I don't think there's too much people have ever thought about to using that to creating the tradable assets. So usually the generative AI was used for like a generate image or generate like article messages. But if you generate trading asset, people to trade on it, we don't think we see so many products out there. Probably we are one of the first people ever trying to do that. And especially in the Web3 field. So the Web3, people actually more degen, right? They are actually looking more for the tokens rather than the product itself. So I think that probably if you can create the product as good as your token system and using the token really to promoting them to make it more engaging, let people to actually broadcast in the community, you really need to like have this AI and Web3 combined with each other so that to create something really for the users. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point, Rein. I find when you're in an earlier stage company and it's in the Web3 space, you really do have to focus on those crypto native users, those early adopters, what they want. And then as it develops out to more of a general betting and gambling or other people that aren't in crypto as well, then I'm sure, the political or sports betting, which is a huge industry in itself, combining that into Web3, they're going to see the benefits of the AI and the blockchain technology. But I think the token first, just because they're so eager to use this kind of technology, that makes sense. And you mentioned about the decentralized nature of it and the community-driven part is very important. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the blockchain side of PredX. From what I looked into the documentation, you're actually utilizing the Sei Network blockchain, which I've used a little bit, but it is a newer blockchain. I'm sure it has tons of advantages. Could you talk about why Sei blockchain is the best for PredX and how it fits into the ecosystem nicely?
Yeah, definitely. So one advantage of Sei is based on their parallel EVM setup. So you know the EVM is actually a general compatible, kind of like underlying infrastructure, right? For empower a lot of different kind of like blockchains, including this layer twos and as well the EVM layer one, like Ethereum. So in that sense, the EVM, that means the general compatibility, which means the system can be easily go multi-chain. And also it provides a good number of engineering base, which can help us implement the high level like complexity in terms of data structure as well as the functionality. Yeah, so the one choice for the Sei is actually based on the EVM narrative. But the difference between its EVM, other EVM is parallel EVM, which means that they have the potential to run the system in your ultra fast mode. So why it's important is because when we allow everyone to creating and define their own asset, there will be a huge number of edges happen in the network. So you assume that like in traditional kind of like a exchange, right? So the exchange is a center node, and all these others kind of like traders are surrounding this center node. So the complexity of the problem is O(n). N is number of traders. But right now, if we enable everyone to create their own asset, the complexity will be O(n) squared, which is actually we can n magnitude higher. And so basically, the idea is that like there's a lot of the different kind of like things happening, and because the creation capability, because of the like we have a new dimension out there. So if you want to make it decentralized and empower everyone, you really need to have a high-speed network that can potentially have the capacity to handle this level of workload. Because it's not only about asset creation, but also the oracles. You need to upload the data to supporting the outcome of your events, right? So that is one big thing. Another is you need to record everything on chain. So if everyone creating their own asset, you need to create every like interaction between asset and also the user themselves, right? So there are two kind of like type of like edges, type of nodes, right? Basically the asset nodes as well as the users node. When you're connecting them, yeah, that creates a huge level of complexity. So we need to base on actually one of the fastest blockchain. So based on some numbers I have, so Sei Network is 6 times faster than Solana, which previously considered by the best actually speed of like this blockchains. Yeah, so in that sense, actually, we feel that Sei have a big future. Another thing is that like because Sei is EVM compatible, so that means we have a lot of people who are coding on Sei. Yeah, so actually the people side as well as like the infrastructure side, we actually make this consideration, but to be also open to others blockchains, and in the future we definitely will go multi-chain. Yeah.
Very cool. I didn't know that about the speed of Sei being 6 times faster than Solana, and I'm going to look into also the parallel EVM, which sounds like, yeah, you want the best of both worlds because there is a huge network effect on the EVM chains, and they don't want to have to bridge over an extra steps to have to use X if they want to try it. So that's really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops, and also keeping an open mind for multi-chain or cross-chain compatibility, I think is a good idea as well, Rein. Can we talk more about the application itself? I know you guys have been building it for a while. From what I understand, the current stage is in the testnet right now. So what does that mean, and what can you do on the testnet currently?
Yeah, so in the testnet, actually, the general idea is to figure out some of the potential problem, bugs, or limitation of the system. So the general idea be basically trying to implement everything we have and see what the user feedback. So that's actually the purpose. So what we do is that we actually build out the underlying structures, everything on the testnet, and also our platforms surrounding it, because like we still have the order book off chain, but we have the custodian, basically the users, you can think about it on chain. So that is actually a combination of hybrid mode. Yeah, in that sense, basically, we are trying to test this infrastructure whether it's good or not. Yeah, because like after testnet will be mainnet, we're using the real money. But if there's some problem with the real money, it's really hard for, for the blockchains actually to revert back all the everything. Right? So that's the thing. We need to have everything fully, laid out and tested. Yeah. So the on the testnet, the thing is that like right now, Sei deploys EVM starting from the testnet, it's called DevNet. So in that sense, basically, we have a very good platform to test out all the features of Sei. And that is why we starting from the testnet and trying to make this more ready. And then we can go with the mainnet, which may happen in next 1 or 2 months. Yeah.
Good to know. And what I've seen with other testnets is there's some kind of incentivized testnet, or you're encouraging early adopters to try out the testnet for whether it's future rewards or some kind of status in the application upon the mainnet launch. Is there something like that happening on PredX testnet as well?
Yes, we are looking forward to it. Yeah. So the thing is that like for testnet, another good thing is we let people to accumulate some of the scores, and based on their interactions with the platform, right? So accumulating some of the footprints, because if they interact with smart contract, if they actually deposit or withdraw some money from our contract, and if they won the event or the ranks are high in the week or 2 weeks consecutively, or they log in like in 5 sequence day in a row. So that all give them different number of like rewards, and later on that actually will transform into some airdrop potential or airdrop expectations. So that is actually what we trying to run this game. It basically incentivize people to use more. Yeah.
That's nice to know, especially when you're on the testnet and you don't have to use any real money. You're just experimenting with the application, and then you get rewarded in the future. And with that, I'm guessing that leads to a PredX token of some sort. Can you talk about if there's a token launch, how does that fit into the ecosystem of PredX? What's the value of the token? Does it create a sustainable ecosystem for all of the users if they're using the PredX token in the platform?
Yeah, sure. So right now we are in testnet, and a lot of like token functionality we have not deployed on our testnet yet. We are actually trying to roll over step by step. But I could give a general high level like description of what we have. So we indeed have a token system, and it plays a very central role in our roadmap. So in order to have the good token system, right, from a general perspective, the token need to have real value. So you need to have like some like a real benefit we can give to the users, instead of like just actually make a token and you just share some like future income potential after you do the TGE, and not like that. So we really want to have let the token holders to share a big chunk of our revenue, our platform, in terms of transaction fee. So if we have like 2 tokens in our system, one token is called PRDX. So basically you can think of governance token and like a normal utility token, right? So you basically using that token to do a lot of things in our platforms, like upgrading the parameters, or you can use the tokens to vote, or actually vote on the events, actually, especially which actually event are going like listing or not. So that's basic capability, and as well as the system can actually one important feature is share 20% of the transaction fee with all the PRDX token holders, so that they actually have the motivation to hold it more, hold it longer, as well as actually it may have some real values if the platform become like a really profitable. Another 80%, we go with the PRLP token, is the second token. You can think it's like more NFT or ERC 1155, this kind of like a kind of policy. The idea is that each event will have their own PRLP token. So which means that like if I am the event creator of this event, I only can share the revenue from the event I created. So in that sense, like only the people who promote the most or create the most interesting events can get 80% of the revenue of that event from our platforms. So that actually dramatically, we thought will incentivize people creating great events and promoting it inside the community. Yeah, because the big chunk of our revenue just give to the event creators. Another kind of PRLP token holders are the people who injecting the liquidity to our platforms. So the idea is that we will let people to deposit your USDC or this kind of like other tokens, and we have AI liquidity providing engines to distribute this kind of like a liquidity to different events based on the need. So user can just deposit to our system, and we will decide which kind of like events will allocate more token in terms of market making. Yeah, so that is actually fully automatic intelligence. But the people who deposit PR, who deposit USDC will actually get the real commission fees sharing, because firstly they may take some risk because they deposit, and secondly because like they put the money there, so they need to be kind of like get decent returns. So that is a second type of people who holding the PRLP token, basically who contribute to creating or running this event. Yeah, so this actually the users of the type 2 token, basically PRLP token. Yeah, so that is actually in general tokenomics. And we are trying to get this tokenomics fully up and running after we have the mainnet available, and the TGE probably will be on June, July, or basically second or third quarter of this year. We are trying our best. Yeah.
Very exciting. I didn't know that about the two token system. That's very intricate, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. So moving forward with your potential roadmap, of course, there are so many factors and variables, but you mentioned that the mainnet could be around a few months away, and then the token launch afterwards, after the mainnet has been running for PredX for a while as well.
Yes, yes.
Awesome. And what is the best way for people to follow along with those updates and to try out the incentivized testnet and prepare for the mainnet launch?
Yeah, so actually pretty easy. So please follow our Twitter and also our Discord, so that our two main channels. You can also join our Telegram. So Telegram is usually for the discussion of our communities, and Twitter and Discord, usually we have the official announcement. Yeah, so, and also you can visit our website, predx.ai, and that also we have the newest update from the news side.
Sounds great, Rein. Thank you so much for the information. I can leave those social links and the website in the show notes below as well. All the best with PredX moving forward, and let's definitely follow up in the near future.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me. Yeah. Thank you, Ashton.